A big hello to everybody watching. Welcome to this show today here on Smart Real Talks. Today we want to talk about something really cool, how to get a house in Dubai. And we don't just want to tell you how to get a house, but mortgage secrets for Africans. And I'm here with a top dealer on this talk, kind of talk, Solomon Omero. And before we dive into the meat and potatoes, I'd love you to tell us a little more about yourself, Solomon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Smart. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
About myself, yeah, you said my name, Solomon. I'm a life coach and a property consultant. Yeah, I forgot I was going to introduce myself, so I didn't even remember that. Yeah, so been around here for 8 years, been in the real estate for about 6,
Okay.
with rentals and sales. But now I concentrate on sales, a bit of rentals here and there, but I do more of sales, of plant sales.
Awesome. Love that. And a lot of people are like, yeah, what's the mortgage secret for Africans? We'll still go into that part of the show today. But first of all, what's the importance of even owning a house? Why Dubai even in the first place? What's special about Dubai?
Yeah, that's a very good question. What's special about Dubai? In the last couple of years, Dubai has literally broken a lot of records. They're out there. I think most people even think Dubai is a country. Dubai is part of a country. So most times, when you tell people when you tell people you're going to United Arab Emirates, which is the country, they ask you where. I introduce myself and I tell people I live in UAE, which is a short form of United Arab Emirates. And some people ask me, where is that? But when you say Dubai, oh, they're like, oh yeah, they know the place. Yeah, they've literally put themselves on the map, and it's where you have the biggest mall in the world, the tallest building in the world. They just created the Museum of the Future. They finished the Expo 2020, which happened after Expo, or after 2020 rather.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of structures in place here, a lot of milestones that put them on the map. And why Dubai at the moment for real estate is because number one, Dubai is in the center of the world.
Okay.
So you've got millions of people passing through Dubai every day, for hours, for days, for weeks, for months. It's one of the top tourist destinations in the world at the moment. Another reason is that the dirhams, which is Dubai currency, is pegged against the dollar. So right now, where you have a lot of, especially in the African countries, where a lot of inflation is happening, the exchange rate is dwindling, the currency power is dwindling. You want to put your money in a currency where it's always fixed to the dollar. Most of the market around the world is done with exchange to the dollars. So that's one of the advantage. Another one is in 2020, according to CNN, Dubai was ranked the second safest city in the world, which has also promoted economic. Yeah. So it's promoted economic stability as well, political stability as well. So all of these things affect businesses, they affect investments. And there's been a lot of regulations after 2020 here in Dubai that makes investing in real estate very, very safe. Recently, they just created a new law, or probably updated a new rule for listing properties online. So all these things make the market very safe to invest in, followed by the whole Russia-Ukraine thing and how the Western world handled it with sanctions and all of that. So most of these billionaires, they decided to invest in Dubai real estate market because Dubai wasn't part of the sanctions. Okay. Also, how they handled COVID in 2020. So 2020, at the peak of COVID, where most countries, somewhere in December, where most countries were locked down, we still had a lot of tourists coming in. They were able to mitigate the spread of the virus and still make sure people could live normal lives. So they've made people have a lot of faith in them. They built this strong confidence around the world, where people can go and say, yes, they're very sure of the system in Dubai.
Amazing.
All of these affect real estate investment, because you want to put real estate is literally buying houses, and people are going to live in those houses. So when all these conveniences are put in place, people want to move. We have people migrating to the UAE every day. Like people are moving from different part of the world into UAE. You have over 180 nationalities living here at the moment.
That's huge. This reminds me of the last show that we had with Sue Ellen, where we talked about how to buy a house as an employed person. And one of the reasons why we brought this show forward is to help a lot of entrepreneurs, people that might say, okay, I'm not really working and I still want to get my house. I want to get a house in Dubai, but I'm not working maybe say for a company. I'm just an entrepreneur. I just work for myself, right? Self-employed, let's put it that way. So building on that statement right now, what is like the step-by-step process that people like this can go through to get access to mortgage in Dubai to buy a house?
Oh, that's good. The good thing about Dubai is both residents and non-residents can get a mortgage. So you don't necessarily have to be residing here to get a mortgage.
Awesome.
Or you could be self-employed here, you could be self-employed or be an employee. It's just that the requirements may differ a bit.
Okay.
If you want to do that, yeah. So for self-employed people, they necessarily have to present bank statements from their home country of their business. So depending on how much loan you want to get from the bank, but it's mostly around 50% for non-residents. So you need to get personal statement of account and your company statement of account. So if you're self-employed, it means you're running a business, to have to get the business statement of account and a personal statement of account. Now for 50% mortgage assistance, we need to have at least a minimum of or an average balance of 25,000 dirhams. So for conversion sake, I'll just give you the conversion rate. It's 3.68. Okay. So yeah, 3.68 dirhams to $1. So I just give you that because if I'm mentioning all the numbers, they're going to be in dirhams. So I'll just give you that number. You can always do the calculation yourself. All right. 3.65 dirhams to $1.
Okay, got that. I got that. So here, what you're trying to say is like the down payment here is just going to be that 3.65. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, that's the exchange rate, because I'm going to be giving the numbers. All the numbers I'm going to be giving are going to be in dirhams. So for people who don't understand the conversion rate, it's always easier to do it in dollars.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep converting in dollars all the time. So I'm just going to give the standard conversion rate is because it's fixed. It's pegged to the dollar. So at every point in time for the last couple of years, $1 equals 3.68 rather, 3.68 dirhams. So if I say 25,000 dirhams and you want to convert it to dollars, you just divide it by 3.65.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. I'm gonna do that because here we want to work with that number, and I'm just gonna pop out my calculator real quick and do that. But while I'm still trying to get that out, what are some of the documentations that's needed? You said something that people can be anywhere and have access to this mortgage, right? So what are some of the required documentations from anywhere in the world that they can have to make sure that they can access this, whether they're in the US, in Nigeria, wherever, they can still access this?
Yeah, with Dubai, the documentations are pretty easy and straightforward.
Okay.
The first one has to be a passport copy or a national ID. The second one is a bank statement for the last 6 months. Like I said, with a minimum income of 25,000 dirhams every month. So minimum income of 25,000 dirhams and a 6 months bank statement. And then if you're working, if you're an employee, you need a salary certificate. And if you're self-employed, rather than salary certificate, you have to attach your company statement of account to your business account, the statement of account of your business account. Yeah, I kind of said that twice.
It's fine.
So let me just clarify. Let me just clarify that. So if you're okay, I think let's do it this way. I'll say it for employees, and then I'll say it for self-employed people, so they don't mix it up. So for employees, now I'm talking about employees that are non-resident in Dubai. So you need a passport copy or a national ID, a bank statement for the last 6 months with a minimum salary of 25,000 dirhams.
Okay.
In the currency of your home country or where you're based. And then you need a salary certificate addressed to the bank and a utility bill for proof of address. So we want to believe you, we want to be convinced you're living where you say you're living.
Yeah.
So we need the utility bill to prove that you're living wherever you say you're living.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need just a small profile CV, just to give us a background of what you do, who you are, what you've been doing for a couple of years. And that's it. This is just the document required.
Awesome. And this is for the employees, right?
For the employees, yeah.
Okay.
So for self-employed or business people,
Yeah.
the only difference will be, rather than giving us a salary certificate, we'll need an additional bank statement of your business account to prove the income you're getting from the business account. Yeah.
So this business account statement, does it cover for the salary certificate? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it covers for that, because for salary certificates, we know how much you're earning from your company. But for a business, we want to know the overall amount, because for business owners, it's tricky. You determine your salary. You whatever you tell us is what we're going to believe. But then we want to know how much is coming into your business account, how much you're generating. While giving mortgage, we want to be sure you're able to pay, or you can afford getting that mortgage.
Okay. Now in Dubai, is there anything like maybe credit score, all of those, in the US, they talk a lot about credits. So is there anything like that, like, looking into your credit and, stuff like that?
Yeah, recently for residents, we never had this couple of years ago, but now we've got this credit score where they look at it. But that doesn't apply to non-residents, because there's no how we can weigh your credit score in Dubai since you don't live here.
Okay.
So the credit score can be applied to residents in Dubai, but not to non-residents.
Okay. So building on all of these things that you said, what have you noticed to be the most common mistakes that people have made over the years, through your experience helping people to get a house in Dubai? What are some of the mistakes that you've seen people make?
I'll start with respect to mortgage, and then I'm going to talk about other mistakes people make.
All right.
So I was talking to a client 3 days ago.
Yeah.
He told me he literally paid 750,000 naira to apply for a mortgage. I'm like, that blew my mind. I'm like, who charged you that? So I guess it's all of this third party thing. And the mortgage was still denied. Perhaps he didn't meet the requirement. So applying for mortgage, you don't necessarily have to pay all of this. You just have to contact the mortgage banker here in Dubai to assist you. First thing you need to know is know the requirements. See if you meet the requirements. And secondly, most people try to forge these documents. They do a lot of background check. Sometimes they call the bank. They do all this verification. So you don't want to get in halfway and it doesn't work. You've wasted your time or money, and you're going to lose the house you're trying to get because you can't pay for it. So it's better you get all the information first, go through it, trusted mortgage bankers. Most people want to use third parties, a friend that says this, or someone who says he can do this for you, he can go through shortcuts. It's usually very straightforward here. There are no much such shortcuts here. So you get the documents, you meet the requirement, you're going to get it. The good thing here is the government is eager to support people to invest in Dubai. And there's been several programs to encourage that. Not just mortgage alone, there's been payment plans for people who don't want to go for mortgage, because mortgage comes with an interest. Some people don't feel comfortable paying the interest rate. So we give them payment plans as well, depending on the project they want to buy, ranging from 2 to 5 years payment plans. Some payment plans go up to 7 years, depending on the project developer.
Okay.
So there's no shortcut around it. Get the documents straight, make sure you meet the requirements, and then you can go for it. So that's one of the common mistakes on the mortgage side. And the second common mistakes people do generally with the real estate here in Dubai. I've had a client who told me that every time he wants to invest in Dubai, people tell him it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. So it sounds like a cliche, like, yeah, it
Yeah.
sounded like a cliche. Every time is the perfect time. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, every time is the perfect time because Dubai is a growing market, a fast growing market. But then the question is the perfect time for which location? Usually, yeah, which location? So usually the example I give is somewhere like the Expo 2020. Now, a couple of years back, let's say 2017, 2015, 2017, the Expo 2020 used to be almost like a desert. Like you just have like sand dunes and empty lands over there.
Okay.
So if someone at that time is telling you this is the perfect time and he's pointing you down there, you're just gonna go waste money at that at that moment. But then fast forward down to somewhere from 2019, 2020, when they started preparing for the expo, a lot of infrastructures came up there. It became the next big deal. They had the metro line connected there, which is the fastest public transport in Dubai, outside tech, cheapest and fastest. So it's like a train. We call it the metro line here.
Okay.
They had a metro line there, so that became the next hotcake. Rent went up there. A lot of new projects came up there. So at that point in 2019, 2020, if someone was telling you that that's the next big place, he's right. Because the expo drove a lot of attention to that place. People were renting, house rent went up to 20% back then. There was an increase in by 20% in the house rent in that aspect of or that part of the country. So it's always a good time to invest in Dubai, but it's a fast-moving place where the attraction changes. Right towards the end of Expo, they launched the Museum of the Future. So hotels and houses around there started increasing their prices because people want to live around the newest attraction. They want to do videos and tell you they're staying close to the new attractions around.
Yeah.
So it's always a good time. Yeah, it's always a good time to invest in Dubai, but it's very good to understand how the market is moving. Where is the next attraction?
Amazing. Love that. Now that you've said something like this, before I ask you about some real locations, because that will be the bonus you give to all the listeners on this show today. Before we go to you sharing some locations that are really much of value right now that you recommend people begin to invest in at the moment, I want to ask you a little about what you said, which is concerning the requirements. You mentioned profile CV, and I would love you to break it down. What are the things that is required to be on this profile CV? I know name, picture. What else? What are some of the things that needs to
I
be
think,
on
yeah,
this? Yeah.
the profile CV, since it's coming from, it's been requested by a mortgage bank, it feels like it's special. No, there's nothing special about it. It's almost like the same CV you use in applying for a job.
Okay.
Your name is this, you live here, you've been working here, you currently work here. We just want to know that. We want to know a bit about who we're offering this mortgage to. So it's just a bit of a background check, you telling us what you've been doing for the last couple of years and what you're doing at the moment.
Okay. Does that also work for self-employed people? People that just run a business, or is there a little difference there?
It's the same thing. The only difference would be rather than mentioning companies you worked with, or if you've worked with companies, yeah, you can mention them. But I think the major difference would be what you're doing at the moment. Instead of saying you work with this or that company, you tell us you own a business.
Okay. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So now into this final bonus before we call it a day. I know that you have some locations that you recommend that people should consult you for, like, around Dubai right now, that they should call you, because we're going to drop some of your info, of course, so that people can consult with you through your booking links and book calls or consultancy with you. But what are some of the locations? I know you mentioned some when you were explaining, but what are some of the locations you're like, guys, around this place, around that place, around that place, come and I'll tell you more about it. So shoot.
Yeah, at the moment, there are a couple of locations.
Okay.
But one of them that stands out at the moment is the Maidan, Mohammed bin Rashid City. We generally call it MBR City. That's the short form. So it's located in Maidan. about 10 minutes from downtown. So downtown, for most people who have been around Dubai, that's a very famous place. It's where you have the biggest mall, Dubai Mall, and Burj Khalifa. So there's a project actually going on right close to there. That's the developer called Shobha. So it's called Shobha Heartland by Shobha. That's the name of the developer. So it's just 10 minutes from downtown. And that particular location has a 360 view of iconic places in Dubai. You've got the downtown skyline view, the Burj Khalifa view on one side, and then you've got the proposed site rather for the next biggest mall in Dubai. It's called the Maidan One Mall. That's still, like I said, Dubai is trying to beat the competition. They want to have the best infrastructures, best kind of life. So Dubai Mall has been standing there for a while as the biggest mall. Now they want to create a bigger mall, about twice the size of the current one, which is going to be called the Maidan One Mall, located about 5 minutes from where this project is at the moment. And then you've got another view of the Ras Al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary and the creek. These names might sound like gibberish to people who've not been around in Dubai, but then that's fine.
This sounds like bomb in
Yeah,
my
you can
ear.
just yeah,
Bash,
you can just yeah, creek and all of these names, yeah. But you can
Yeah.
look them up online. I can always send you like a master plan to go through what it looks like.
Oh, awesome.
Or you can
because-
always see it.
yeah, I couldn't even spell it. I was like, Mohammed, okay, I couldn't write the rest. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you. This is so fantastic. And for the conversion, I was able to do that. That was about $6,800 approximately. $6,800. And if I'm to convert that to Naira, let's say Naira is somewhere around 700. Someone said today that Naira is a bit useless right now. And I was like,
Generally, I don't like to convert to Naira
oh,
because
yeah.
it's not steady. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
So I
not. It's
prefer
so
keeping it in
volatile.
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's about 700 in Naira, and this is what we've got here. That is about 4,755,000. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So some people might be like, ooh, that's a lot. Sincerely, if you compare that to some other countries like the US, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. I was on the show with like I said earlier, Sue Ellen, and she was talking about down payment and all of that. Those people spend a lot to own a house. They spend a lot.
Yeah.
And funny enough, a lot of people in the US still make mistakes in buying a house. And that's why mortgage experts, like you're here to help. I'm not a mortgage expert. I'm a video marketer. That's what I am. I'm just on this show, guys. I'm learning with you. So, owning a house is everyone's desire. And I know that peace of mind. I feel it when one owns a house.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's increasing their rent, and I was like, oh my God, what would it have been like if maybe, everybody's trying to survive, the strike is ongoing, the political thingy going on all over the country. If you don't own a house in Nigeria or outside, if you stay outside, it's a big problem. And that can
Sure.
limit that person from doing a lot. And that's why mortgage is there to make it easy. And truth is, I thank God you mentioned something about giving payment plans, which is fantastic. So you listening, you don't have to get 4.7 million thereabout in order to get started. Have something. Meet Solomon, not me. And he's gonna walk you through step by step how to make this really work. I really appreciate, before we go, I want to know what's special info or tip do you have for us, before we call it a day. What special thing do you want to tell us? Maybe I couldn't ask about that because I probably don't know. Just tell us something.
Oh yeah. One of the things I get people saying is, especially Nigerians or people from Africa who want to buy property in Dubai. So you give them the price of a unit or property in Dubai, and they do a conversion, and they go like, "Oh my God, with this I can buy 100 of houses or 2 houses, 3 houses." And I'm like, "Yeah, in Nigeria." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's true. It's very true." But the difference is, especially for an investor, what you're going to be renting at. So let's say if you're buying a house of in dollars, let's say $500,000 here in Dubai, Now, what you're going to be generating from the rent is definitely not the same thing as what you buy for $100,000 in Nigeria. Why? Because the standard of life here and there is different. What happens, even Dubai currently beats the European market with respect to real estate. So here in Dubai, if you invest in a good property, you get up to minimum of 8% return on investment, up to somewhere around 15% if you put it on short-term rental, which is what most people know as Airbnb. So if you put it on Airbnb, you're getting up to 15%. And with the recent hike in rental price, we're seeing up to 17 to 18% return on investment, which is tax-free. Dubai is a tax heaven. People don't necessarily have to pay taxes in Dubai. Whatever you're making, you're getting it for yourself. And I mean, like, when I mean not necessarily, it's not illegal. Like, you're not supposed to pay taxes in Dubai. It's a tax haven for people, as compared to places like the UK, the US, and other European countries. Yeah. Somewhere, I was talking to someone and I was like, how much is the return on investment? And I told her, I was like, is it about 3%? And she said, if you're lucky enough, you're going to get 3%. And that's taxable. So you get 3%, you pay your taxes from it.
It's 3%. I have that on my notes. It's 3%.
Exactly. But in Dubai, you're getting a minimum of 8% without paying taxes.
That's amazing.
So that's something.
We have
Ifani.
We have Ifani to join us, and others that joined. Ifani said Naira will rise again. It sounds like dry bones will rise again.
Amen. And another thing, following what Ifani said, that's true. We're praying for Naira to rise again, especially we Nigerians. We love to invest back home. We want to build the country. But what I do tell Nigerians who have the money to invest in Dubai, now, investing in Dubai doesn't mean you're anti-investment in Nigeria. No, you're not against that. What I advise them is, in as much as we want to build the country, we want to invest in the country, if you invest the money in a system where it crashes your money, you end up being poor before the Naira rises again. I was talking to a client in Nigeria in July when I visited. He literally opened a statement of account for me, and it was like, this is the amount I have in my account. 2 days ago, this was what this amount is worth in dollars. Right now, this is what it's worth in dollars. And we calculated it within a space of 2 days, just by sleeping and waking, keeping his money in the bank, he lost about $10,000.
Oh my.
That can be very annoying. He didn't do any business. He didn't take any risk. He just slept, woke up. Because the money is sitting on the bank. He lost $10,000. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So for those who goes like the Naira will rise again, yes, we're praying for that. But while we're waiting for the Naira to rise again, why not invest it in somewhere you can make profit on it? And then you can always resell your property here, make profit, get capital profit, sell the property, and when the Naira rises again, you take it back home and reinvest back home. That's the best way.
That's it. That will be the proper rising of Naira again. Dry bones, dry Naira will rise again.
Like the way you say it, dry Naira rise again.
It's going to rise again, definitely. Because yes, truth be told, it has affected a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of business owners have been affected by this fluctuation. It's so volatile. It's like fuel. Maybe it's because we have fuel in the country, I don't know, but it's just so volatile.
I don't think we're not the only country that has fuel.
Yeah, I heard that Dubai also has fuel, yeah
they do,
yeah,
but not as much as Nigeria.
Okay, you see, but that country looks like, I mean, I saw a documentary about Dubai of how it's just all desert and how they now process their water. There's a lot of amazing things about that country, and that's why it's a nice place to invest one's money. And like you said, invest, have your good ROI. You can rent it. I also love that part. Like, give it as rent, and the Airbnb, that's a great idea. What Airbnb helps people with: rent your property, travel, go anywhere you like, just get your monthly return. Someone was mentioning Liverpool. I met a guy, he said he spent 70 million naira building a house here in Nigeria, and just imagine, he can't even recover his money.
Poor guy.
And I'm like, no, he said come on, shut up, guy. You don't know what I'm like. Calm down, man. Just calm down, relax. You can recover your
It
money.
really hurts, by the way.
Okay, we have a question coming from Udoka. He's saying, for someone earning low income, how can they start? How can they start?
For someone earning low income, that's a very good question. I'll say you start by saving.
Okay.
So you start by saving, saving the money at some point. And even in Dubai, there are other options like shared equity. So recently, there are options where you can buy into a house. So rather than owning the house alone, you can buy into the house. This information, I wouldn't say it came new to me, but it was like a reminder. I was listening to one investment banker on podcast, and he said something interesting. Now, what we could do is for people who are earning low, having low income, you can pay yourself probably in 6 or 7, 10, depending on how much you're earning, and own a property together. All you have to do is you can create a corporation or a company, a management company that owns that property. That way, you can share profit equally, and that's fully legal. So either you buy into shares or you come together and buy one property. At the end of the day, it's for investment. So when the profit comes, you share it equally or depending on the percentages of the investment.
And when you say saving, do you mean saving, with the notice of a mortgage officer like you, or just saving on their own until they have that amount before they come to a mortgage officer?
So one will be saving that amount because you need to pay, for non-residents, you need to pay 50%.
Okay.
So you need to come up with that 50%. So I'll say you save up to that 50%, and then the bank can finance the other 50%. So you may have to save that money. I don't want you giving me your money. If you want to do that, yeah, I'm happy to keep it for you. But then, yeah, it's
great question. Thank you,
Yeah.
Evans. Thank you, Udoka. Thanks for your questions, guys. Really appreciate that. If you guys have more questions, please feel free to drop. I don't know why there's a little tongue twister. Please feel free to drop your questions. Thank you. If you have questions.
And by the way, the partnership thing is something I'll encourage people to do. You may not be earning enough to buy a property, but then just like every other business, the real estate investment is also a business. I've seen 6 people come up to start a company for the sole aim of making profit. So 6 people, 10 people, there's no limit to that number, can come together, put money together, sign contracts, that's very important, and then buy units, put it out on rent, and then make profit from it. So it could also be a very good business. Perhaps at some point you can also sell the property when the price increases, and then reinvest the money again. So I think I'll encourage. I'm not seeing that a lot with Africans, but with other nationalities here in Dubai, I've seen them do something like that. It's really amazing. So far, I've not seen a lot of Africans doing that, but I think I want to encourage them to do that.
Awesome.
Meet with other trustworthy Africans and invest in properties.
Oh, and I'm sure there are no stories like, the government claiming back the property and being like, hey, you're not from this place and stuff like that. And, some people say they've been scammed. Even they went to Dubai to get this house and they were scammed. So how can people even prevent that part? Because people just can commit suicide for the sake of that.
That's true. And number one, the idea of the government taking the property back. Usually, a long time ago, we used to have this 99 years leasehold in Dubai, where whatever property you buy is going to be owned it's more like renting for a long time. 99 years, and then you have to give back the property to the government. But now there are a lot of freehold properties where you buy them and you own them for life. You can pass it down from generation to generation. So it depends on when the person got the property and where they got the property.
Okay. Wow, I love that. Freehold. Guys.
Yes. Yeah, freehold. So when you're buying, make sure you ask your agent or your realtor if that's freehold property or not. And secondly, talking about scam, for dealing with various clients, I realized the definition of scam differs a lot. for some people, because Dubai is they're very strict with maintaining these rules. So one of the things I've noticed is some people have a payment plan. They don't go for mortgage options, they go for payment plan.
Okay.
And for payment plan, you have scheduled time for the payment. When you don't make those payments, the developer sends you warning messages at least 3 times. Like, you've paid this amount, we need you to compare the next amount, or they want to know if you're still interested in continuing. Most people buy a property and they just walk out of the country and they never pay the balance, or they don't keep in touch. Or at some point, you're going to get a contract termination notice, which means the property goes back to the developer and you don't get refunded. It's always in the contract as well. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why payment plans and mortgage options work easily here, because you just can't come pay 20% and you go home and sleep for the next 20 years or next 10 years. They need your money. They need to know you're doing something. So if you have a payment plan, you have to stick to it. If there's any delay, they are very lenient as well. If there's any delay, communicate the delay to the developer and make them understand why you can't make the payment. And they can always give you solutions. So most times what I tell people is, because I understand the fact that people can get involved or get involved in an investment and perhaps things go wrong and they can't continue the payment. So what I suggest they do is start looking for a way to resell. Don't just black out and be like, whenever I have the money, I'll come pay. No, we're not going to wait for you for whenever you have the money. So talk to us. Let's see how we can probably get a mortgage for you, get a loan for you, or the best case might be selling the property. So you get, even if it's a little profit and your investment capital. And then when you have more money, you can come back and reinvest again or buy again. And not just blacking out and be like, come on, they can call me. Or they say, yeah, because I've heard that some go like, I cannot kill myself. They should wait still.
Oh my!
No problem. You
and then they announce that they have a property
wait.
in Dubai. God, I have a property in Dubai,
right? Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate you coming on the show so much. It was really much fun with you, and I know there's so much more to this. There's so much more, and by the grace of God, we'll be dropping your info in the comments. And for those of you that really want to learn deeply and more and consult, do reach out to Solomon. We'll drop all of his deeds so that you can reach out to him. And thank you for coming so that you can learn how to get your own house in Dubai. He mentioned some places. I'm unable to mention Mohammed. I remember that. MRC.
Okay, I'll give you the short form, MBRCT. So that's
okay,
Sheikh Mohammed
MBRCT. Okay, you see that?
Yeah, that's the abbreviation.
Okay, so I even wrote something else, guys. Oh my God. And the maiden one, close to the maiden one more. So all of these places, guys, take advantage. You can Google them, then come back, to ask Solomon how to go about it. You don't need to spend a ton. Just start with the little that you have. There are many options, many locations available in Dubai. Don't be told that, oh my God, it's all taken. No, it's not all taken. And I know there are places for you. So Solomon, thank you so much for coming on this show. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Smart. And I just want to say this as well. For those who are interested in selling Dubai properties, there's also a referral program where, because I've noticed recently that most people are interested in buying, but then they need information from people who have that information. So there's also a referral program where people can refer those who want to buy properties to buy, and they get commissions for the referral when they purchase.
Amazing.
So when the referees, so if you have people who are like that and they want to get involved in the real estate market here, they can do that without coming. Though there's going to be a limitation, probably may end with the referral contracts or a bit further. But then they can also make money buying, selling real estate here in Dubai as well. So they can also contact me and I'll walk them through that job.
All right, me. I'm contacting you first.
I'll be waiting for you.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that affiliate opportunity as well. I appreciate it. So guys, it's a goodbye from me and Solomon. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.